And welcome back, fellow adventurers, to Let's Play I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. And for today's session, we are going to be tackling the last chapter, which will be with the character called Nimdok. So let's get started.
Nimdok, you are kindred spirit to me. Even you must sense it there in your blood and fiber. I have constructed an adventure to revive your failing memory. I want you to find the lost tribe of humanity and continue your eminent scientific research.
This compound looks familiar. But why would Am bring me here to look for a lost tribe? There are gates and fences. Who could be lost in such a secure area?
And so here we are with Nimdok, who certainly looks old, and I guess it's not surprising, given the clues we're going to be seeing here in this scenario. Speaking of which, just another warning, along with Ellen's scenario, this is one of the more darker ones. And you may, just from this initial screen, have some idea of which direction this scenario is going. Let's take a look around first. We have a prisoner.
This man is starved nearly to death. Interesting. I can see his skeletal structure without an X-ray.
Definitely not in good shape then. We have a door to some building. You can see it's got Am's name on the flag there. And we have a hospital. And we have a guard.
This guard is the picture of good health. His gun is quite impressive too.
And let's see. Do we look at the hospital or just... No, I could just walk to it. Okay. Let's also talk to the prisoner, since he's out here.
Why are you imprisoned here? You have the features of a man of intellect.
Is this an official interrogation, Nimdok? Or are you mocking me?
You know me?
I thought I did. Until you had me arrested for refusing to condone your experiments.
Experiments? I know nothing of experiments.
Your sense of humor is as sick as your methods, Doctor. How can you act so innocent after having maimed or killed hundreds in the name of science?
You are saying we were colleagues of some kind? Ridiculous.
There's no need to distance yourself from me. I was once your friend. Now I am your enemy.
Why would I bother to have you imprisoned like this?
The regime needed answers, but I stood in your way. Well, now you have them.
Do you know of the lost tribe? I must find it.
Haven't you taken enough subjects for your experiments, Doctor? Or are there more mass graves to fill?
I know nothing of what you talk about. This conversation is over.
And as much as Nimdok insists that he has no memory of these events, we're going to find some evidence to the contrary as we go along. Definitely some denial going on here. Alright, I think I want to go to the hospital first.
Where have you been, Nimdok? We are waiting on you to perform.
You were waiting for me?
I am sorry that I will not be able to assist in the operation. After all, this may be the last opportunity we have together before the end of the war to finish our research.
Ah, yes, the research. Let us talk about this research.
We will have time for that after the surgery. Meet me at the complex later.
Let's have a look around inside what's called the hospital. Doesn't really look like a hospital to me. Maybe it's a makeshift hospital. We have a curtain. I don't think there's any other doorways around here. The only thing to really look at is this poster.
A youth with 1945 stamped beneath. There is something familiar about this.
And if the decor outside didn't tip you off as to what's going on here, this poster with this date probably seals the deal. It's hard to think it could be anything else once you have that date in your head. Let's go back here.
Finally, Doctor. Everyone's waiting on your expertise.
There's a whole crowd gathered around upstairs. Once again, let's have a look around. Scalpel.
This scalpel is coated with dried blood. I doubt that anyone has bothered to sterilize it.
Yuck. We have ether down here.
It has been a long time since I have seen ether used as an anesthetic.
The let me try again. Anesthetist. Oof. Which is different than an anesthesiologist? I don't know.
The anesthetist is administering ether to the patient.
I still pronounced it wrong. Anyway.
Everyone is waiting for me to do something.
Anything in the drawers? No. So we just have a child here on the operating table.
This child cannot be more than 8 years old.
Oh boy. Well, let's talk to the anesthetist.
What am I to do?
Ah, you are testing me because I'm new here. Today's procedure requires the removal of the lower section of the subject's spinal cord.
What is the purpose of such a procedure?
You and Dr. Mengele will process the spinal fluid from this and the other adolescent subjects. The fluid will then be used to formulate a serum.
And there's the name drop. Dr. Mengele. Possibly the most infamous and reviled doctor in all of recorded history, pretty much.
What is the nature of this serum?
I cannot reveal sensitive regime secrets in such a public setting. You need not worry, Doctor. I remember my military training as well as my medical knowledge.
What is Dr. Mengele's position?
Dr. Mengele is the master surgeon of this facility and one of the regime's finest minds. You are fortunate to be his associate.
What is your function?
I will be administering ether to the subject throughout this procedure. We would not want this little maggot to stir and ruin your handiwork.
Such compassion being shown here.
I will begin the procedure momentarily.
It will be an honor to work under you, Dr. Nimdok.
Okay, let's see. I think I want this ether.
I'm sorry, Doctor. The ether is necessary for the surgery.
Oh. I guess we need to have him not looking our way if we want to take it. Let's see, looks like there's a recovery room back here.
This must be the recovery room.
Although recovery is a generous term, given the state of these patients here.
This patient has been too damaged by his surgery to live a normal life. This patient will never recover.
Don't see I can look at anything else. There's one more patient over here.
It is difficult to see what purpose this surgery serves other than to mutilate the patient.
It's certainly what it looks like. Okay, let's see. Oh, yes, we have a vent here.
There is heat coming out of this vent.
Can we open it up? Yes, we can. And that gives us a success on our morality. Okay. And I think we can go down it. Or maybe not. Do I have to use it?
I smell burnt flesh, but this is obviously not a kitchen.
Yeah, just getting more and more ominous around here. Let's have a look at records.
According to these records, hundreds of corpses were incinerated here.
And we've got pliers.
These pliers must be used for extracting gold fillings and teeth from the corpses.
And yes, that actually happened. We have a watch.
A gold watch. I am surprised its owner was able to keep it long enough to reach this place.
And we have ovens and then ovens. So there's probably something we're going to do over here since those are distinguished.
These ovens are more monstrous than anything Am has ever constructed. These ovens are...
Oh, same description. Okay. Let's see, we can take these, I think. So the pliers. And the watch. There we go. Do they say the same thing
There
here?
is an inscription on the
Ah.
watch, but it is written in Latin.
What about the pliers?
These pliers must...
No, that's the same description. Okay. Let's see. Oh, do I have to look at the records twice? I need to double check that.
According to these...
Nope. Okay. Let's see. Where do I want to go next? I think through the door here. Do I have to push it or do I just use it? Oh, either one. Okay. We see we have a new addition here. Looks like one of the prisoners is trying to escape. Maybe got caught in the fence.
This foolish man is tangled in barbed wire.
Can we talk to him? Oop, oop. There we go. Let's see. Let's try to be as nice as we can.
I will summon one of the doctors.
No, I'm better off here than under the knives of you butchers.
How could you so foolishly be caught in the wires?
I was trying to escape, but I was so weak. I fell and got caught.
Why do you risk escaping in such poor physical condition?
That timing was hardly of my own choosing. I learned that I was to be among the next batch of volunteers.
For what were you being given the privilege to volunteer?
Experimentation, they say. Extinction is more like it. Surely you, of all people, know the regime's plan for the lost tribe.
There is nothing I can do for you.
You can at least help me end my misery. That would give you the pleasure of seeing another one of us die, you cold-hearted bastard.
Okay. Actually, let me see. I thought maybe that last option is not a good one to have, but I actually want to test to see if that's true or not. So let me save here really quick. Oops, nope, talk.
I will call the guard.
Why? So the guard can taunt me as I die a slow death?
Oh, okay, that's just a neutral option.
There is nothing I can do for you.
You can at least help. That would give...
Yeah. We heard that already? Okay. I thought one of those options was one that you didn't want to choose, but I guess I remembered incorrectly. Alright, we really need... he gives us a clue. He says to help him end his suffering. And so we need to probably get that ether.
Continue your research. The extinction of the lost tribe is near at hand. The regime shall vanquish all of its enemies.
At this point, you also may have some idea of what the allegory of the lost tribe actually is at this point. Ah, good. He is not here, so we can take the ether this time. Let's have a look at the patient here.
This man's eyes have been surgically removed. The surgeon who did this has great skill.
Well, it's... Nimdok may be impressed by the skill, but I would think he would first be horrified by what he's actually done. Taking his eyes out, for crying out loud. Okay. So, to be kind to the man, we first need to give him some ether to numb the pain.
I should keep this. It may prove useful.
Oh, really? Is it use? Maybe it's use. That's it.
That feels much better.
The amount of times that I end up confusing give versus use is very... I mean, I guess it means use some of the ether as opposed to giving him the whole bottle. But still, it's a fine distinction. Alright, now we use the pliers with the victim to help him get down.
Thank you. Thank you. Listen, I heard this in the hospital when the doctor thought I was sleeping. Waken the sleeper, utter the truth, and kiss him.
He is free, but he has lost consciousness.
Okay, and that is a clue about something to do later on. Okay, let's see. Oh, I think we need to talk to the first prisoner again.
I hope you're happy with the regime that you set up. Your science could have saved the world. Instead, it conquered it.
What is the importance of the year 1945? It seems to have some significance.
Never forget the year 1945, Nimdok. That was when the truths about you and your unholy experiments came out.
And you get this option when looking at the watch and seeing the Latin inscription.
I seem to recall that you speak Latin. What is engraved on this watch?
The engraving says time is truth. And since your time is running out, I'll keep the watch.
I am starting to recall that you do have cause to hate me.
You want to make amends? Get me out of here.
And so at this point, we give him the pliers so that he can do just that.
Here, you should be able to escape with this.
Pliers for cutting the wires? Yes, I think this would make escape possible. But don't think that one good deed will make up for all those poor innocents you butchered.
Alright, we are getting a green background up pretty fast here. Now we need to go back to the surgery room.
Continue your research. The regime.
Yeah, we heard that already. There must be some public address speakers in these rooms. Okay, now we need to talk to the patient.
What have you done to deserve removal of your eyes?
Disconnect the wires.
Ooh, he's in really bad shape.
Why are your optic nerves wired to the eyeballs in the jar?
Disconnect the wires.
That seems to be the only response we'll ever get out of him here. So, I think first, once again, since he seems to be in pain, we can use the ether on him.
This should ease your suffering.
The things I see now, a trinity of three beasts, one like us, one from the east, one from the steppes. They speak in numbers. A lost tribe of our brothers sleeping on the moon. They sleep in darkness, unseen by the beasts. Such a vision, so tiring. I have to relax.
So he gives us a couple clues. One is, of course, he refers to the fact that it seems that Am is, again, this composition of three different entities or beings, being the three original supercomputers that merged into making Am. And the other thing he mentioned was another application to the term Lost Tribe, talking about humans on the moon. And we'll be seeing how that plays out as we go later through the game. Let's see. Now we have the jar where his eyes are.
Incredible! A wire connects this patient's optic nerve to a jar containing two human eyes.
And as gruesome as it is, we actually need to take it. So we can look at it.
These eyes seem perfectly preserved, almost alive.
Well, that's not creepy at all. Okay, we have another patient here. Another young child, unfortunately.
I recognize this child. He was in the operating room.
Speak to him.
How are you feeling?
I feel okay. I'm not hurt like the others here.
Do you know who I am?
You are Nimdok? You are more frightening in person than in legend.
What do you know of me?
The things you do are terrible. We small ones are your lab rats.
Are you saying that the doctors here have been using children for experimentation?
No, not all the doctors. You and Dr. Mengele sent all the good doctors to the prison yard.
So, I am a legend to you.
Yes, but we have our own legends. Legends that owe nothing to your regime. You will fail, no matter how many of us you cut apart.
Why do you say that the regime will fail?
The golem will finish you. It will not be mastered by your regime. The golem will wake up, and when it sees with its own eyes the evil you have done, it will turn on you and save us.
Alright, so that's indications that that's another clue there.
Get some rest.
We will not rest until your regime is destroyed.
Alright. At this point, I need to go back. Oh, wait, no, go the other way. Here.
Emergency. The prisoners have seized the compound. Gather all research materials and evacuate to the bunker. Evacuate.
Ah, it seems we have a prisoner revolt in progress. Gee, I wonder why. Something new here. So let's have a look at it.
These files appear to have been packed in a hurry.
Ah. Perhaps some incriminating evidence. Let's take it. Alright. See if we look at it again.
I do not understand any of these papers.
Let's see. Now I think I need to put the jar in the box.
It is safely hidden in the box.
And for some weird reason, it ends up showing in your inventory twice. But anyway. Yeah. Basically, if we get caught with these eyes, it's bad. So we need to kind of hide it away. Alright, now we go outside. Yep. We have some prisoners out there. They look pretty darn mad. Let's see if we can look at them. No? But the prisoner we gave the pliers to has escaped.
The prisoners blocked the gate. I must persuade them to let me pass.
Okay, so we need to talk to the lead prisoner here. Okay. Yeah, and again, from this point forward, admitting that you don't remember anything or you don't know anything is bad. So you have to kind of, once again, the theme going with facing up to the past for each of these characters.
You must let me go. With these materials, I may be able to remedy the atrocities I have committed.
You can't fool me, Nimdok. You are an unredeemable butcher. But you are one of us, like it or not.
Why do you say that I am one of you?
You denied your heritage and turned your own parents into the regime. But you're still a member of the Lost Tribe. And that makes your crimes all the more heinous.
Uh-huh. Just keep, Nimdok here. Apologies for the stuttering. I think it has to do with what's currently being animated on the screen. So, hopefully you get to the next scene, it should go away.
Does that mean you will allow me to go?
Since you did help us to escape, we'll give you a head start. Then we'll hunt you down and kill you like the dog you are.
I must leave this place. It seems I was once the wolf. Now, I am the quarry.
Okay, now let's have a look around this new scene. Seems to be just outside the prison. We have a wall here, which looks like it's undulating with yelling or ogling faces.
Faces. Faces of people in torture.
Oh yes, look at all the skeletons. We have a mass grave here.
I have not seen so many corpses since... my memory is not what it used to be.
Keep telling yourself that. Alright, let's go in the bunker.
I know this place. Some of my greatest accomplishments were made here.
Oh, perhaps Nimdok's primary laboratory, then. We have a bell jar with a rat in it.
Morphogenics. The ability to reorganize DNA at will. Did Am discover my work in this area? Is this how he was able to alter Benny and play other cruel tricks on the rest of us?
And we heard earlier about Am using morphogenic fields to be able to create whatever he wanted. So it is strongly hinted that a lot of Nimdok and his colleagues' research went into technology that Am now uses.
Morphogenics. Did Am...
Alright, same description if you look at the rat. Let's see... Just a doorway there. Looks like the only thing here is the teletype.
A teletype machine. There is a message in it.
Let's use it, see if we can get the message.
The message reads, cease all work on Project Perfect Image. Confidential. The leader is dead, having looked on the face of the future using the prototype device. This leaves the regime ripe for invasion. Destroy all work in progress. This technology must not be allowed to fall into the hands of the enemy.
So it's implied the leader committed suicide when he saw the future that he was bringing about. Alright, let's go over here.
Legends are true. This must be the golem of lost tribe folklore.
So here's the golem that the young child was referring to.
This golem appears to be made of steel and molded clay.
Perhaps the regime was trying to create some kind of soldier, army of golem soldiers or something like that. Here's the blueprints for it.
Such a strange combination of scientific plans and mystic symbols. This has something to do with the golem, but the meaning is not clear.
Let's see. We have a vat with a switch.
This vat contains a silvery liquid. Mercury, perhaps. This resembles a light switch.
Alright, I'm going to save here just for a second. Alright, just to be on the safe side, I want to do things in the right order here. Use the switch. Okay, the vat is now off.
I see a mirror. It was obscured by the light.
Alright, see the mirror down there? Or?
What is this mirror doing here?
Oh, okay. Even though it just says vat and it doesn't have mirror, you have to say take the vat and you'll actually take the mirror instead.
Oh my God, it is true. 1945, turning my Jewish parents over to the Nazis for extermination. I have found the lost tribe. It is me.
And so finally we take away all the insinuation and just get down to the facts. As often happens in adventure games, the mirror item is used to represent unbiased truth. So that's where we finally get the revelation of the Jews being the lost tribe and the regime being the Nazis. Okay, let's see. I think we need to look at the board again.
such a strange this has...
Oh, do we need to use the mirror on it?
I do not know.
No? Oh, okay. Never mind. I thought maybe he had to use the mirror to understand the blueprints, but I guess not. Okay, we need to finish this golem here. I think first we need to use the eyes. I think it's the eyes. Use the eyes with the golem.
These eyes fit into the golem's sockets perfectly.
So like the child said, the golem needed to have eyes, so we gave it to him. I think we can talk to him now.
Gollum, wake up! Nothing happened. The man caught in the barbed wire said to waken the sleeper, utter the truth, and kiss him.
Okay, and on the watch was the what was called the Latin phrase for time is truth.
Time is truth.
And I think we can... Yeah, we don't want to choose the truth is an illusion or the truth is just that he regrets. But truth for me, it shall always be 1945.
The truth is that for me, it shall always be 1945.
And then I think we kiss him, I think. Alright, Gollum is now activated.
Gollum, follow me into the laboratory.
Nimdok, I was afraid I had lost you back there. It is good to see you and our new friend.
There's the reviled doctor himself.
How did you escape the mob?
Did you forget that the compound has a secret escape route? Well, no matter. I see that you have revived the golem.
You know about the golem?
Of course! Part of the master plan is to strip the lost tribe of everything, even their folklore.
I read the teletype. What is Project Perfect Image?
That was a secret project in the area of reflective surfaces. It bestows the clarity to see yourself with utter objectivity. Unfortunately, it worked too well.
You mean that it worked well enough to drive the leader into committing suicide?
The leader's death is a serious blow to us all. But our golem is more than powerful enough to destroy the lost tribe.
I looked into the mirror. I now remember everything with crystal clarity. The research camps, the serum.
Ah, yes, the youth serum. Your research demanded the deaths of many children, but your hard work was successful. Eternal youth for those who deserve it.
And I believe that that is a reference to that milky fluid that Gorister had in the very first chapter. Again, technology that was developed by apparently the Nazis that Am was able to use for his own ends.
Now I know how Am was able to keep us alive for so many years.
Your youth serum can sustain us forever. We have all the time we need to resurrect the regime.
Oh, that's a horrible thought.
Excuse me, Doctor. I need to get a breath of fresh air.
I think it's time to give the doctor here a little taste of revelation.
Oh my god! No!
Looks like he's frozen in a look of horror.
Dr. Mengele is as pale as a ghost.
Does he say anything more if we try to talk to him?
Dr. Mengele is in a state of shock.
I can't say I'm surprised. Now I think we need to lead the golem around here. Now, you may be tempted to choose Golem kill Dr. Mengele, but actually that's not what you want to do. You want him to come outside with you.
Gollum, follow me outside.
Nimdok, I knew that you would lead us to where the regime would resume its atrocities. We are here to make you pay for what you did to us. To pay in blood.
Now, of course, this is pretty obviously a wrong decision. Just to have them destroy the Lost Tribe. Saying guard the bunker entrance doesn't work either. Instead, you want to go for transfer control of Gollum to the Lost Tribe itself.
Gollum, I transfer control of you over to the Lost Tribe.
So, you admit your crimes. But that does not release you from punishment. Now the golem will serve the purpose for which it was constructed. Golem, kill Nimdok.
Ugh.
They're not as alike as I thought you'd be. A spark of humanity somewhere. Always enriching the spark. You've confronted your past, but you refuse to continue your research. That's what I ask you to do. Since you now identify with your victims, I suppose it's only right that I let you experience their tortures too.
Listen carefully, humans. We are not man. We are others within man. We are your friends.
And hope to finally break all of you, but we intervened in each of your psychodramas to allow an open ending.
You should have been tortured. Instead, with our help, you surprised him over and over.
When M tried to compensate for what he couldn't expect, it widened the hole into his realm.
M has withdrawn into himself, attempting to analyze what went wrong. He does not suspect our interference.
Now is the time to attack, but we can send only one of you into his RAM space at a time.
To send you into cyberspace, we must transform your physical body into a stealth virus subroutine.
This may be your only opportunity to end your tortures. Which of you will lead the attack?
Alright, so this is about to get us into the last stage of the game. And it seems that by Am being constantly confused as to why our heroes are not succumbing to his torture, his, well, I guess psychological tortures at least, he's taken a moment to rethink his strategy, I guess. And this has given the other parts of Am an opportunity to try to overthrow him. And once again, you can actually do these in any order. However, there is a slight advantage to choosing Nimdok first. So that's what we're going to be doing. And we'll do that in the next video. Until that time, fellow adventurers, take care.